So, I've had like 5 encounters with bats. I promise you. The last bat came inside of my house and he bit me. So I had to go through like a set of 4 rabies vaccines and things. And I've had some like weird health issues ever since. Like you could just see I was kind of twitching. I've had muscle spasms all on the side of my head and face that the bat bit me. Just random things. That's okay though. So my VA primary care began going through my health folders just to check some things out. She came across that I've had a couple of hernias in my esophagus ever since I was a kid. I guess I was, born with hernias in my esophagus. But she sent me to get my esophagus checked out. It came back my esophagus was 75% eroded. Right. This means that if I had gotten some kind of a hole in it, or if it got too much worse, or if it ripped, it's gonna be very bad. People at the VA told me that this could be fatal. They were trying to make sure I knew how serious this was. They said they hadn't ever seen it so severe. That if my esophagus ripped or something, that my stomach acid was going to come up, go inside my chest cavity, and they couldn't do anything about it. About 4 months prior to any of this happening, God went to somebody that I'm very close with, and she prophesied to me that God told her I was going to be coming under some health issues, but that he had it all under control. Right. So, when the VA was telling me, this could probably be fatal, it's so severe, I was just like, it's gonna be healed. I told a couple other people that I was having conversations with about it, this is gonna be healed. You feel me? Well, here I am. And my esophagus isn't so horrible. It kind of began to remake itself, actually. God, right. So, and then that was just one thing of where God showed up, right? And God gave me the confidence to, be like, this is gonna be healed, and these, people, these physicians were just kind of like, all right, bro, well, but nah, God healed it. Last August, it was the day before August 1st, actually. I began feeling like super cold down by my belly button, and it was just kind of weird, but God was telling me, hey, you need to go get this checked out. So I went to the VA. They did scans and things. When they came back into the room, they said, you're gonna have to go have a emergency surgery. You ain't going home. They said that my small intestine had telescoped inside of itself, meaning it was going like inside of itself, right? Just the craziest thing. It don't ever happen to grown-ups. It's something that happens to small children, but it isn't so severe, right? So I was like, ah, oh, great. VA doctors then came back and said that they're unsure how to go about it, because for this to be happening, I should be showing signs of it like really hurting me. They asked how I knew to come to the hospital. God said. So the VA sent me home. After they came in there saying I had to have emergency surgery, they sent me home saying they were unsure of how to go about it. Somebody would be calling me within the next week. That's kind of unsettling, right? Whatever, though. So the next morning, Friday morning, August 1st, I got up. I was feeling, kind of weird about it. And God had said to go to a different hospital. All right, God. I have found out every single thing that God says to me, if I do opposite of, the outcome isn't ever anything I'd hope for. I kid you not, every single time. So I went to a different hospital. I went to IU North, that's up here by my house. They said the same thing. They did scans. They said, hey, you're not going to be leaving the hospital. You're going to have surgery. So they kept me in the hospital. The very next evening, they came and got me to take me to have surgery. So what the surgery consists of, they're going to pull out my small intestine, chop it off where, like, all that was happening, send it off to have it checked out. When they came and got me, I felt complete peace about it. I felt God. And you know how God, when you feel God, it's calming. It's just complete calmness. That's how God's in the mix of something. Because He gives you that peace about it. Right? So, the people came and got me, took me back, and I'm just feeling complete calm. And I don't want to have any surgeries. Like, I'm scared of health issues because I've seen so much of it with my mom, with just like so many people, right? Like, I'm fearful of it. I never have been until I had a child. But, yeah, having a kid really changes things. So, the surgeons cut me open where they had to cut me open at to have my small intestine come out. First, they had a camera go inside of me to see and all that. Okay, we're gonna stop that for a second. When I was coming out of my state of sleep, I don't know if it was a vision or if it's where I was. When I was coming out of my state of sleep for the surgery, I was sitting on the lap of Jesus Christ like a small kid. I was small. He was really big. I've had a couple encounters with Jesus, and they're just so powerful. Amen. All glory be to you, God. And Jesus was really big, and he was sitting on a tree, like an old antique tree. It was a huge tree. Now, whenever I have these types of encounters with Christ, I don't ever see his face. I've had a handful of them. Like, he's always just so radiant. You just see a glow. Just so radiant. But anyways, I was sitting on Christ. I came up out of it. I was like, oh, you feel me? Like, wow, what just happened? You know, like, God had me the whole time. I was actually chilling with Christ, Jesus, that whole time. They get me back to the room. Hey, come in. He said, so, we put the camera inside of you. There is zero evidence this had to even happen. He said everything's completely perfect. If this had happened, there'd be some kind of signs of your swollen, like, you feel me? Like, even if it somehow kinked itself out, there's going to be signs. Maybe it's just some kind of a blip on the screen. Maybe not. Maybe this was the second hospital. The second group of physicians who get paid all kinds of money. I said the exact same thing. This was a complete miracle, a healing miracle, and nobody can say anything else. They can't try to say it was anything else because it's two different hospitals, two different groups. That's the God I serve. That's the God of the Bible. When I was in the hospital for this, the girl who was coming in to check on me and thing, my nurse, one of them, she was like, it feels different in here. I can feel God in here. She said that she had been out of church, and that when she came into our room, she felt God was saying to her that she needs to get back in church. And two other people very close to me had a encounter with God at the same time I was coming out of my surgery. A real encounter with God that can't be chopped up as anything else. You feel me? God healed my esophagus. They were telling me this is probably going to be fatal. They're trying to prepare me for that. I looked at them and I said, this is going to be healed. While I was in the hospital, Macy, she was going to have her birthday party on that Sunday. IU admitted me on Friday. The supposed surgery was supposed to happen on Saturday. I got released from the hospital 1 hour before my child's third birthday party. Tell me God ain't good. God's good. This is just a couple encounters I've had with God over the past year and a half. Right? I've been having really powerful encounters with God since 2015. So we're going on June of 2015. So we're going on 8 years almost. Man, can't nobody tell me anything different. Because when you truly encounter God, you're changed. Like, you know deep inside of yourself that you just encountered God and God's real. But in the past year and a half, God showed me a different side of himself. He showed me who he is as my healer. Man, I tell you what, God will put you through very uncomfortable situations to sharpen you. The faith I've had to have through all this, that's God. There isn't anything great about me, right? Nothing. God can do the same thing for you and anybody else. You just have to trust him. You have to come to him. God will show up, and God will show out for you. The God of the Bible. There's one living God. Many will try to say there's There's one living God. And if you're like, well, I haven't had these kinds of encounters, show me some kind of proof. Isn't that? I made this video because I probably have some type of a relationship with you. Here's all the proof you need. God showed up and God showed out. They said my esophagus was probably going to kill me. It was so severe. Here I am. My small intestine was somehow going inside of itself. That can cause all kinds of problems. All kinds of problems. They go in and chop me up. Zero signs. Evidence that it had even happened. That's God. And these other health, problems I continue to have since all that happened with those rabies shots and all that. That's okay. That's okay, because God showed me why that happened. It's all okay. In Jesus' mighty name, it's all okay. And if you have any kind of health issue going on, lift your hands up to the one God, the one healer, Jesus Christ. I can't promise you that outcome's going to be what you want, because trust me, all the outcomes in my life, they haven't always been what I wanted. My mom went to a hospital, she ain't come out. You feel me? But God sees things differently. Death, he sees much different than us. We see it as sorrow, pain. God, how could you allow this to happen? You aren't seeing the other side of it, of them up there in the glory of God, in the presence of God. They wouldn't trade it. So I hope whoever God meant for this long video to reach, I hope God shows up and shows out. But you have to, have a little bit of faith. Just a little bit of faith. And if he's calling you back, you better get on back. Alright, may God be with you. The one God. Don't forget that. The one true God. Yeah, Jesus is the exact same. That's why he's always been. Alright. God bless you.